The Never Trump crowd was riding high after January 6th, thinking somehow, in their blind disgust and contempt of Donald Trump, that Joe Biden would magically become their kind of foreign policy hawk. What are they thinking now?
I made it clear that if they go into Rafah, they haven't gone into Rafah yet. If they go into Rafah, I'm not supplying the weapons that have been used historically to deal with Rafah, to deal with the cities, to deal with that problem.
Whoa. What happened to Biden saying our support for Israel was ironclad? I think that was the word he used. Well, the truth is he's willing to sell out Israel because the radical left that dominates his party demanded he do so. And let's face it, he needs those votes in Michigan, remember. So now, well, the Never Trumpers, horrified. Liz Cheney tweeted, "Withholding aid to Israel is wrong and dangerous. America must not abandon Israel. Doing so would mean victory for Iran and all its terrorist allies." Jonah Goldberg admitted, "I've heard from a lot of reliably anti-Trump people, and I mean really anti-Trump people, who've had it with Biden." John Podhoretz called the whole thing a shameful betrayal. We need the Peggy Lee song, "Who's Sorry Now?" Here's the hard truth for all these Never Trumpers. They need to accept reality, probably do one big mea culpa to cover all the dumb things they said about Trump versus Biden before. Biden has been nothing but a failure when it comes to making this country safe at home and abroad. And what you just heard him say is proof of that. So, there's still time. Come home before the election. Unite, make the country safer and more prosperous. It's not enough just to say that this was a betrayal by Biden. Now we need you to say that Trump is the answer. That means swallowing your pride. Joining me now, Sean Hannity, host of Shanity. We miss our crosstalks. We always say about that.
I know.
Say that.
By the way,
how are you?
It's so. You know how many everywhere I go, everybody I meet, "Oh, I miss you and Laura," when Laura would make fun of you. I'm like, so if you want to make fun of me, if you want to catch up, probably tonight would be the perfect night.
Well, thanks for putting on the jacket for me.
You're very welcome. I put on a tie, too, just for you.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. What you're saying is so true here on so many levels. So let me understand this, that the Never Trumper crowd, I guess what tipped the tide for them is Joe surrendering in the war on terror. That's the line in the sand. Now, the same people that talked about January 6th, well, they ignored the 574 riots in the summer of 2020 that killed dozens of Americans, injured thousands of cops, and cost billions in property damage. They've watched 10 million plus Joe Biden unvetted illegal immigrants come into this country. Their silence has been deafening. From China, Russia, Iran, Syria, Yemen, you name it, they're coming in. We've lived through the worst economy. They lived through defund, dismantle, no bail laws.
Sean, why'd they do it? Was it just they think they're better than everybody else, right? They're incredible snobs. Let's put it that way. You know, you and I know them.
We know them. Look, I saw Jonah Goldberg's comments. I don't have any animosity towards them at all. I just, for whatever reason, they got this in their head. Maybe they don't like Donald Trump's style. However, how does this Joe Biden guy work?
They don't like you or me either, and that's fine by me. I wear it as a badge of honor.
I don't know. They might dislike you more than me. I'm just guessing. I don't know. We could do a poll. Yeah. I'm kidding. You know, but I will say this. It is, right now, it's a serious moment. You said they'd have to swallow their pride. I was paying very close attention. They'll never do that. I don't think they're capable of it. But they would rather accept Joe Biden's open borders, horrible economy, weakness on the world stage that is endangering our country, these immigration open border policies.
So they're not going to do it.
Geopolitical.
They're not going to do it.
Listen, I invite them back. I mean, if you're asking me whether or not Liberal Joe and Nicole Wallace and Jonah Goldberg and the NRO crowd are ever going to support Donald Trump, my question to them is, how did they consider themselves a conservative and support all of this? And their silence has been deafening on the failures of Joe Biden. He's hurting our country. What I really worry about the most, the election is in 179 days. What I am most worried about is I don't know how bad the damage would be if Joe Biden had 4 more years. I think it's irreparable harm that he's caused so far.
Yeah.
I
it's
think
gonna
the
ramp
country will
up.
become unrecognizable.
Now,
look at our
Israel,
weaponized Department of Justice.
Yeah. Israel could be gone. By the way, back in 2018 or 2019, Sean Biden sang a different tune about Israel. Watch this.
The idea that we would cut off military aid to an ally, our only true ally in the entire region, is absolutely preposterous. It's just beyond my comprehension anyone would do that.
Sean?
Here's the saddest part, and this is where it gets deadly serious to me. He not only has stabbed Israel in the back, he's done something that America would never have done before. Not only can our allies no longer trust us, but he is now also emboldened the worst actors on the world stage. He's emboldening all these radical Islamic terrorist groups. He's emboldened Iran. He did that from day one when, he wanted to go back to the Iranian deal. He not only,
He's out of it,
turned a
though.
blind eye to the sanctions.
Yeah,
they've sold
running
all
the
their
show.
oil on.
Yeah, he's not running the show, though.
Well, then who? All right, who's running it?
Yeah. Sean, they're telling me, and I'm very excited about this, your Fox Nation show, Outlaws and Lawmen. Do you wear a hat? You wear like a big hat? Cowboy hat?
I don't wear a hat,
boots?
but you've known me for years. I do wear cowboy boots on a regular basis. That is the real Sean Hannity. I've got jeans on right now. You know that. I don't think I put on a pair of suit pants unless somebody puts a gun to my head. And you know how much I love wearing a tie. But I will tell you about this. Laura, I mean, the people that built this country were amazing. They were incredible individualists. They would go west, young man meant you would leave behind everything that you knew in the hopes that you would have a better life, going into unknown territory where the law did not exist, say, around the time of the Civil War. And out of that comes the worst outlaws, and then those brave people that took them on, and some of the most incredible stories. And now, by the way, it debuted one of the biggest show on Fox Nation ever. I'm very grateful to your audience, your support, and everybody else at Fox
Fantastic.
and their support. It was fun to do. It really was.
First of all, I can't wait to watch it. I haven't watched it yet, but I am going to watch it with my kids this weekend. Sean, I do miss our crosstalk, but we'll do this more
I miss it more than you.
All right, I'm coming on your show
Anytime
next.
you feel the need, you got to scratch an itch and take a shot at me. Just invite me on. I'll sit here and I'll say, okay, you're right, Laura.
Well, got it.
Laura.
Next time, I'm going to wear blue the same color as you next time. Sean, great to see you. Everybody watch Outlaws and Lawmen, available on Fox Nation.
Thank you.
All right, coming up, the media needs therapy over Trump's trial. Plus, we're going to tell you who they're turning to next.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.